Hello. I wanted to bring you an energy update as to what has just been going on because I finally unpacked it, figured it out, and I have words that I can share because I just went through it too. So I'm going to try and be as precise as possible. Since probably about May 20th, in fits and starts, I have gone through the ringer. There has been an incredible amount of fear, an incredible amount of like spiritual ego, but like in an inferior way. Like, Sheila, you're getting this wrong. You're doing it all wrong. And like then that's coupling with fear. It's like, oh my gosh, I have videos out in the world. Am I sending people in the wrong direction? Like, in what ways am I getting this wrong? Like all of the things, the not wanting to be here, the feeling very unalived inside, like just a couple of times I've been like brushing my teeth or doing dishes and just started to weep. And the narration in my mind was, I'm dying and nobody's noticing. So it's been heavy. There's been a lot of stuff within me that has been going on that I have not been able to make any sense of it whatsoever until yesterday. And then I just had a client today, because this is just the way my family works, my team works with me, that once I've moved through the thick of it, then they go, here's the information that you didn't have that you wish you had while you were in it. Unpack that and now go and start serving that to the collective. It's worked that way every time. So I had a client today. She's just going through this really dark space, not understanding, given the work that she's done and her commitment to her ascension journey, why this is happening, beating the crap out of herself, etc., etc. So I knew that I had to try and get this information out to you ASAP, but I'm not feeling like fully grounded in it yet myself. So I'm not my usual like clean and sparkly person, but here's the information because you need the information. Ultimately, in as few words as I can give it, many of us are being lifted out of the 4D space and moved into a more fifth dimensional space at its lowest level in the like a baby step. This is what caused, like, the visual is that a bunch of us got scooped up. We got untethered from the 4D, which constituted the big dump of, well, here's all the fear and all the garbage and all the spiritual ego and all the self-judgment and the bullshit that you've been carrying around. It's got to go now, and it's like right now. So that was like the untethering from the 4D space that, frankly, many of us that have been awake and aware for quite some time, we made 4D our new home. Like, I was quite mastered in being in the 4D space. And that brings about its own whole level of grieving as well. Because I really feel like today, as I'm doing this video, that I am in nowhere land. So we got picked up and moved out, untethered from the 4D. And now we're being lifted to be carried into more of a 5D space. Now, just to be clear, because I don't know who's going to watch this, I don't mean new earth. I mean vibratory state and level of consciousness within the body based on how you have prepared yourself for this move from 4D into the 5D space. The 5D new earth reality experience, that's coming. It takes time. But it is something to be celebrated that we are being moved out of the 4D, where many of us had pitched a tent and lived there quite comfortably for a while, and moved into a more fifth dimensional space. So the fifth dimensional space really is about surrendering the final parts of the mind into the heart. And then when you're in the heart, you are now more connected and operating from and anchoring into more of that quantum field space. That in itself can create some overwhelm. So we've gone through an untethering from the 4D, a big dump of crap that we couldn't bring with us, that left many of us dabbling in a lot of dark stuff for a little bit there. And then moving into the 5D space now, where it's overwhelming to have access and to be a part of the void and the abundance of code and information that is available within the quantum field sort of all at once. It's like an activation. It's like a timeline shift, but it's not. It's more, what I'm seeing is like we got unplugged and we're moved over, and now like the filaments of what's going to be the new plug are starting to grow down and be anchored into a more 5D space. This will also begin to show itself as what many people are talking about as being the two-world split. So we move into more of a fifth dimensional space while we're still living on a 3D density. And now like that's almost like the glass wall. I know Bashar talks about it in the way of a glass wall. The whole two-world split thing has been bastardized all over the place also. But if you want to use the glass wall analogy, it's like the glass wall is going to start to come down. And we will be able to still see and engage with and walk shoulder to shoulder with people that are in a totally different frequency-based reality than us. And you know, I don't do a them and us thing. It's that when we have reached a level of mastery in ourselves that we no longer need the mirror and the triggering of others, then we are then available to move, because when we are out of pocket, out of line with ourselves, we catch it ourselves and go within and clear it ourselves. So the engagement and the entanglement between people that are awake and unawake and people that are operating from different levels of consciousness, we don't need that anymore. So that's part of why this move is happening. And then you can envision that like the glass wall is starting to be created and come down. That is what this is that we're going through right now. And it is going to continue to play out and sort of the divide happen between now and the end of October. This whole thing that is happening within us, where we are releasing our cognitive analytical skills that are very fourth dimensional, is the release of this to move into the heart. And that is also where the quantum space is. That is your Stargate. That is your ascension portal. So there will be more and more heart opening between now and October. Does that also mean from time to time that your heart is going to break open more? That is also true. Is the ego going to give some resistance at some points in time throughout now till the end of October, where it's having a bit of a freak out and a temper tantrum because it has to give up its control? That is also true. But you've also made that move because you're ready and because you are prepared and able to move through it. These energies are also very, very fast, and no one ever sits in anything for very long. Certainly not like we used to back in the olden days. So if you're going through or have just gone through like a really kind of shitty, heavy time, and you're questioning yourself and beating yourself up and really wondering what the actual F is going on, this is what's been happening, is that you have been scooped up and you're being moved. It does not mean that you are going to go through this continually from now until October either, because in every second and every moment that we are awake and aware and conscious, we are further anchoring into our new home, our new field, our new space, and then we're getting better and better and better at it. Are we still going to trip? Are we still going to get caught in ourselves in thought loops and programmings and things that we haven't fully cleared? Yes, that is also going to happen. But you are making this move now because you are ready, and that is to be congratulated. And I am offering that I am seeing you fully if you feel like you have just gone through a really tough time the last couple of weeks. because I have to. And if you're not any of those things, then just be grateful that there's people that are going ahead of you that are smoothing out the road, that are making the path just a little bit more comfortable energetically for those of you that are coming along behind us. There's no wrong here. There's no being left behind. So I hope that this helps. It's sort of like 3 different things from 3 different lenses of perception for you to understand what this is. Certainly the more of us that make this move, that sort of exit the 4D, we're not only making it easier for those that are coming behind us, because the energetic, like the momentum of the energy just gets stronger and stronger. So we're going to be pulling people through, which is amazing. It's also meaning that we're leaving a void or a vacuum at the lower 4D space for all of the newer awakened people. And that's also good. It's like that in-breath, that has moved us out of 4D into 5D is also going to be pulling the people from 3D into the lower 4D. And then the people that are sort of in the middle that are already awake and aware, and they're going to get some momentum from this. So this is the benefit for the all that happens when sort of the front runners are ready to be moved. I hope that this made sense. I hope that it helps someone. I know that I'm not showing up as my most polished, clearly spoken delivery of the way that I typically do. I feel like I've rambled a lot. Thank you for your patience. If you're going through it, I see you. It's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. You're not getting this wrong. You're going to be okay. In the end, give it a couple of weeks. You're going to feel much, much lighter, and you are going to see that this has really, really served you. So that's why I haven't been around for the last little while as consistently as I normally do. I don't know what's next for me. I'm just doing this 1 minute at a time as we go here. So anyway, I hope that this helps you. Much love to you, from my heart to yours. I see you. Bye for now.